I bought my first rental property at 19 years old, turning 20, and here's a story of my first 100 days as a landlord. By the end of this video, you know what to expect in your first 100 days as a landlord as well. If you want my free guide on rental property investing, go follow me on Instagram at it's Kuye and DM me guide, and I'll get that over to you. Now let's get into day one. Day 1 through 30 is how I kind of describe it as the preparation phase. So let's first talk about how I actually acquired the property really quickly. I closed on the property in December, and I was super excited because once you get to the closing table is when you can finally feel that you finally made it, buying that first property. But I finally realized when I got to the closing table that when you close on a property, you don't make your first mortgage payment until 60 plus days after closing. So the timer had just gotten started, but I was a little relieved because I had a bit of time to make my first mortgage payment. I was excited, but scared because now this wasn't a dream anymore, but a reality. And first I had to prep the unit. I was blessed enough to find a pretty turnkey property, so I didn't have a ton of work and repairs to do, but there was still a ton of major things I had to go get. I needed to go get a washer, dryer, fridge, stove, and microwave for both units. As a young adult, I never really cared about what brand appliances my parents had in their house, but now that it was my money, I paid attention to everything. I knew exactly what brands were the best, the types of brands and what they're better at, but the prices for everything was crazy. If you've never looked at appliances before, you probably should. So I also did some research and found that most landlords also got used appliances to save a ton of money. I'm not saying that you should go buy crappy appliances in your apartments, but I am saying don't spend money like an idiot because you can easily spend thousands of dollars on a new refrigerator. And to use the same appliances you use in your home for your rentals is not a smart idea. Any investor will tell you that. This process took me to day 30, and I finally had everything delivered to the property, assembled, so now it was finally time to list the property for rent and find a good tenant. Day 31 through 60 I describe as the reality of being a landlord. As an active landlord, some of the busiest times a year will be when you have to find a tenant. And believe me, this process kept me busy. I had to find out whether to list my apartment unit on Zillow, Realtor.com, Apartments.com, Facebook Marketplace. And just so you guys know, the correct answer is to use all of them so you have more tenants to screen through so you can find a high quality tenant. I put together a calendar because I wanted to have people book showings around my schedule because as of now, I'm not a full-time landlord and I'm just building my rental portfolio alongside my career. I remember the first time as a beginner landlord when someone canceled a showing on me. I was pissed. I was at the apartment waiting and I finally gave them a phone call after they had been late for a while and they said, "Oh, sorry, I completely forgot about it." Like, really? You did not completely forget about it. I literally make sure to give you text reminders and email reminders really close to the time and the day of and all these different things I do to make sure you don't forget. And you telling me you haven't been on your phone all day? Cap. Eventually though, through the showing process, I found a good set of tenants who I thought were not only meeting my credit score and income requirements, but also seemed like good people overall. And just if you guys was wondering, my credit score requirements was 600 plus and my income requirements was 3 times the monthly rent and gross income. Now I had to figure out what lease to use. Getting a lease to use for my first tenant at my rental property made me realize again how important relationships are to success. Most of the time, to get a good quality lease, you have to pay an attorney to help you draft one up, and it can be really expensive. Luckily, I've had an amazing mentor since I was 17 years old who helped me by letting me use his lease that his attorney had drafted up so I didn't have to go make that expense. Relationships pay to have, so remember to truly treat everyone with kindness and value those around you who help you. But after the lease was signed, I collected the rent deposit and it was time to experience what it was like managing tenants for the first time. Day 60 through 100 had just begun. Day 60 through 100 is what I like to call the optimization stage. Now that I had a tenant, it was time to optimize my systems and things about everything involving the rental property that I needed to happen post getting the tenant in. I had a new tax situation. I had to keep track of a lease. I had to keep track of all new expenses that I have for the property come tax time as well. I got that handled pretty quickly after being referred to a new accountant who specialized in real estate and business owners' tax situations. Make sure if you're a business owner and if you own rental property, be sure to find a good accountant who can help you come tax time save some money. But then the unexpected happened. After getting my first tenant, I was hoping I'd never get the phone call that many people dread about the tenants, toilets, and termites. The main reason amateurs say they don't want to get into real estate is because of this. Just as I was about to get to my end of my 100 days as a landlord, my cell phone buzzes. It's a text from my tenants saying something is broken. I'm thinking to myself, what could possibly be broken at this point? How much is this gonna cost me? I might really be messed up right now. I scheduled a time to go over to the property to check it out, and as I followed them inside the house, sweat was dripping down my forehead, worrying about what they are about to show me that's broken. And finally, as I walked in further into the apartment, I see it. It was just a toilet tissue fixture that you could put your toilet tissue on that had fell off the wall. Luckily, this was an easy fix, so I grabbed my tools and I just put it back up on the wall for them. So that is how the end of my first 100 days as a landlord ended. I want to let you guys know that I'm praying that your first 100 days as a landlord goes as smoothly as it did for me. A lot of people have horror stories as a beginner landlord based on being a landlord for a long period of time. Make sure you understand that the longer you become a landlord, the more likely it is you'll experience some of the horror stories. So be sure to prepare and make sure you get around good mentors and people who've already been there and done that so you can learn the lessons ahead of time. If you want to join my free community, if you value the growth in the areas of faith, family, fitness, and finances, join my community, the Think Tank, where we talk about things investing, business related, and I hold you guys accountable to the change you want to make in your life as I build my career, my business, and my investment portfolio, and help you do those same things as well. Let's grow professionally and personally together. Thanks for watching. Peace.